your lunch. So let's take a bunch of questions. You can address them specifically, but I'd like to hear from all of the panel, so try to even them out. Who's going to ask the first question? There's someone very keen over there. A chair always loves that. Off you go.
Great. Dmytro Shymkiv, Deputy Head of Presidential Administration of Ukraine. I have a question basically to all the speakers. So I just did a small research while there's a lot of things being said towards the rule of law, and especially in the area of anti-corruption prosecution to the final stage. And I understand that the homework that all of you give us is anti-corruption court. But we're looking at France, excuse me. Since 2010, there is 16 famous cases of political corruption with allegation and investigation. In the courts, no decisions, and something revoked. I look in Turkey, similar stories, similar cases from 2011, 13.
A bad example is not an example.
Yeah, I know. Even Finland, I looked at the case of Finland, and I was surprised that there are also cases since 2016 that's been allegation about money laundering to Luxembourg companies. And again, things in the courts, very transparent courts, and still no progress. What would be your advisory? I'm not talking Ukraine, we know our homework. What would be your advisory to your home countries to actually see the prosecution on the corruption cases back in your countries resultful? Thank you.
Right, then a quick round on that. I think we'll start with Engin because Turkey was specifically mentioned. But I don't think we can have a long discussion about sort of worldwide corruption. So I'm going to ask you to be quite pointed and maybe what we would learn for Ukraine from it.
Look, we have our own problems, my friend. So bad example is not an example.
I can't complain for lack of brevity on that one. Satu, how do you respond to that?
Okay, I don't think that comparing Finland and Ukraine on the corruption front is appropriate. I mean, yeah, but no, in Finland, I mean, the cases that have remained in the courts for a long time, those are more of exceptions. They are exceptions to the rules because the judicial system is functioning in Finland. But it's because of the special circumstances in Ukraine that many of us are supporting the establishment of the anti-corruption court. Believe me, I mean, we are not doing those recommendations lightly and easily. But when there's no other way out, you do that. But again, you have to differentiate countries where they are vis-a-vis level of corruption, level of functioning of institutions. And I think Finland and Ukraine are, unfortunately, quite wide apart.
So it depends what's the exception and what's the rule, doesn't it, really? And that's okay, your own experience on that.
Yes, Dmitry, 5.5 years ago, it was late March, it seems to me, maybe beginning of April 2012, there was a special meeting with Russian President Medvedev at that time on corruption. And there was such a thing, what called open government. And I was the speaker on the top corruption on the top level. And my first advice was to nominate a special prosecutor to fight corruption on the top level. And immediately, Dmitry Medvedev said, no, it's not possible. That's the answer. If you want to fight, you have to fight. If there is a will, there is a way. Unfortunately, Russia and Ukraine were in the same boat. We can try. We can try to rely on normal, ordinary courts. I appreciate efforts of presidential administration and Ukrainian community in moving forward judicial reform. It's a good reform. And maybe 3 years from now, you will get a good, at least, establishment of the legal system. But you need to move faster. And there is no other way. You need, for Russia, for Ukraine, corruption is the problem of the governance. With such level of corruption, neither Ukraine nor Russia we have no proper government. We can say, okay, Finland, what are you doing? Why are you not fight corruption? Because they have no it. They have no corruption. They have nothing to fight. And we have. We have, sorry.
A good feisty message there. Thank